If it was Yoda, he would say food or not food, there is no healthy. So the hashtag I own on Instagram, which is more nutrition-y side of what I do, is there is no such thing as healthy food. Something is either food or it's not food. It either helps your body do what it knows how to do, or it takes away from your body and doesn't help it do what it do. And when it is a refined food, like the standard American diet, basically what it's doing, standard Canadian diet too at this point, you're just Americans, so I'm trying to use your language. We've got it here too. What those foods do is when they've been refined, we've taken the batteries out of them that help them work in our bodies. So a refined food steals from your body. It doesn't just not help it work, it takes valuable nutrients, antioxidants, and enzymes that are precious resources to your digestive system and your immune system and steals them from your body because your body has to use those things to neutralize the toxic effect of those foods. So does that make sense? It's either food and it helps you, or it's not food and it doesn't help and generally also takes more from you than it was ever going to give. So when you start going to the grocery store, when I do a longer series on this, I'll give people tips on how to do the grocery store. When you start going through the grocery store, because that's where a lot of the confusion is, that's where a lot of the manipulation is in the marketing. When you start to go through it, just with the question, is this food or is it not food? It changes the neurosis that has been conditioned into our brains. Because the whole wellness and nutrition industry hasn't actually done us a lot of favors, because what they've really done is created a new eating disorder called orthonorexia. If you go on the other side, you get obsessed with eating healthy, you also end up sick. So there's a lot of confusion out there. And I'm going to tell you why this matters for our mental health. And in fact, I'm going to go back to my screen share here to tell you why. Oh, and actually, you know what? Hold on. Has anyone ever heard of the microbiome? Do you know anything about it?
What was the term again? What was that?
The microbiome.
It does sound familiar.
Is that our part of our gut health?
Yes, yeah, that is our gut health.
Yeah.
There is a very strong correlation to our mental health. So if you haven't heard that before, then this was going to be really helpful for you. So let's go back to screen share here. Let's go here. So
I'll just share. My wife is a lot big into this, and over the past couple of years, between her dealing with stuff and encouraging my daughters and me and my mother-in-law and other people to focus on these issues about what works well in their systems.
Yeah.
And you know, occasionally, because, you know, hey, you got the blood work and it says your body doesn't react well to these items, why you still eat those things? Yeah. I have to keep referring to her as a food Nazi.
Yeah, and you know what? Yeah, and it isn't, I never minimize the journey, because we've been conditioned by laboratory compounds that they've created to make us crave these foods that aren't awesome for us. And we have a physiology that if it moves into survival mode, it craves the sugar and the stuff that isn't bad for us because it thinks it needs that hit to survive. And by the time we're done with our little chat here, you will understand that our nervous systems that are in charge of so much of our stress response and our mental health, and we hardly talk about it, which just blows my mind, is that our nervous systems and the way they are right now were not designed for the world that we live in right now. And that goes a long way for removing the stigma and changing the conversation. So we'll get there.